Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting the webinar in just a few minutes, giving a few more people the opportunity to get signed on. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Thanks. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone attending. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Peter Buckley. I'm with Cambridge Technology. I run the sales, and with me is Shailesh Bhatt, who's our lead of our cloud data and analytics practice. I'm based in the Atlanta area. Shailesh is in Topeka. Just to give you a quick overview of how we're going to present this, I'll give you a brief overview of Cambridge Technology. Shailesh will take over and take you through Amazon QuickSight, how to deliver insights using Amazon QuickSight. And then there'll be a Q&A session near the end. The talk should take about 40 minutes. And we'll be happy to answer any question that you can and see if we can get you out of here with a lot of information and send you on your way without too much delay. And with that, let's get started. Go ahead, Shailesh. Cambridge, we began in 1999. We have about 500 employees globally. We have a number of offices in the US, Atlanta, Charlotte, Louisville, Topeka, and San Diego. We have been a partner of Amazon since 2009. We actually joined in their first partner class. We're an Amazon Advanced Tier partner. We're also CMMI Level 5, ISO 27001 and 20000 certified. I'll talk to you a little bit about the services, but we want to focus a great deal today on cloud and data and analytics, which is where Shailesh is going to take you. But we are a consulting services company, and we have a full suite of capabilities around anything from applications to BI, data warehousing, data services, all the way through IoT, machine learning, and AI. We provide cloud and big data services, obviously on Amazon, but also Oracle, Microsoft, Google Cloud, IBM, and we can also provide private cloud services. As I said, we're an Amazon Advanced Tier partner. We also hold competencies in big data, Oracle, and DevOps, and we're part of numerous programs within Amazon's partner network. And again, since 2009, we've been working with Amazon as a partner and delivering services to our customers successfully throughout that time. Go ahead, Shailesh. We use technical partners, as it notes here, for growth and differentiation. We engage with these partners when they bring a specific technology to the table that adds value to either our service or to our customers' needs. And we try to identify and engage partners with leading edge technology so that we're bringing the best and the brightest and the most capable people to the table for our customers. So we have everything from data streaming, enterprise solutions, mobility, data visualization, identity access management, whatever it might be. And we continue to look for those technologies to bring to our customers, and we see that as part of our service as well, that we keep our customers up to date with what's available, both in all the clouds and other technologies that are out there. Next. At this point, I'm going to turn this over to Shailesh, and he will take you through quickly through the agenda. And I'll talk to you a little later on when we get to the Q&A. Again, thanks for coming, and I hope you enjoy the webinar.
Thanks, Peter, and welcome again, everyone. Thanks for taking out your valuable time to join us today for this webinar to understand how QuickSight can be helpful as a business intelligence tool for all of us, and how can it help deliver insights from our data. My name is Shailesh Bhatt, and I'm a senior manager at Cambridge Technology, and I also lead the analytical solutions team in here. As an agenda, we shall first try to understand what does serverless mean, then go through Amazon's analytical stack, know a little bit about Athena and QuickSight and how they complement each other, and how QuickSight fits into the overall AWS ecosystem and product portfolio. We shall go through some sample solution pipeline to achieve serverless analytics in AWS. We'll understand the pricing for QuickSight and have some Q&A in the last. So what is serverless? Serverless, this means that you want to remove the barrier between an analyst having a question and the actual answer or insight, and making the infrastructure that's actually providing the resources answer those questions and appear seamless to that analyst or set of users who have those questions. So some of the characteristics of serverless becomes, of course, as its name implies, that there's no server to provision or manage. We all know that there are certainly servers behind the scenes, but the idea is that you as an analyst or the business person or just someone that has a question, you don't have to think about the notion of, do I need one server, 5, 10, and simply want to be able to scale without limits. So maybe we start off by providing analytics to 10 users that grows to 100 to 1,000, and particularly when we get to know this kind of questions at scale is where limitations of traditional physical environments really come in. So if we provide serverless environment or seamless environment, we are not only alleviated of kind of management infrastructure side, but also able to grow as your business or analytic questions grow side by side. And it is important, particularly when we think about scale, is how am I looking at things from a cost perspective, right? So if I'm only answering or asking questions periodically throughout the day or month, can I eliminate that idle time from my cost in terms of processing and infrastructure, etc.? So in case of a traditional on-premise environment, you might think about scaling for peak usage, which of course means you have to pay the most upfront even though it's not being used, right? So one example might be if I have a seasonal business, so it might be a holiday time, and so people are going to be asking more questions. But can I simply grow into that seasonality and then, more importantly, retract back from a cost perspective in terms of processing and infrastructure? So I only pay for the resources when they are being utilized and have virtually unlimited scale on the top end. And then, given the critical nature that analytics play in most businesses, do we think about just availability or fault tolerance just being a native part of this service as well, right? So not only I'm not managing, if I'm using the serverless architecture, I'm not managing the infrastructure behind it, but I'm also not managing the critical parts like high availability, disaster recovery. Those are all just inherited components of the architecture to be able to provide that insights and really unlock that the gray area within your data. So now that we know what we expect from a serverless system or serverless architecture, let's see what AWS analytical stack looks like. Here is a simple stack from a few of the AWS services which can be leveraged to design your business intelligence framework or have an advanced analytical platform, and also leverage machine learning services provided by AWS to deep dive into your data and deliver insights. So I'll start from the bottom. If you can see, we have AWS Database Migration Services, DMS, which is a web service that you can use to migrate data from source data stores to a target data store. You can use Amazon Kinesis data streams to collect and process large streams of data records in real time. You can create data processing applications, which are known as Kinesis data stream applications using this. And then we have Kinesis data firehose, which is the easiest way to reliably load streaming data into data stores and analytical tools directly. It is a fully managed service that automatically scales to match the throughput of your data and requires no ongoing administration at all. You can see another service called Snowball, which is a petabyte scale data transport solution that uses devices designed to be secure to transfer large amounts of data into and out of the AWS cloud. Transferring data with Snowball is very simple, fast, more secure, and can be as little as 1/5 of the cost of transferring data via high-speed internet. Then we go to the next layer where we talk about the storage perspective, where you can see Amazon S3, which is a simple storage service, which is again an object storage service that offers industry-leading scalability, data availability, security, and performance. Complementing S3, there is another service called Amazon S3 Glacier, which is a secure, durable, and extremely low-cost cloud storage service for data archiving, especially, and long-term backups. It is designed to deliver 9.9999% durability and provides comprehensive security and compliance capabilities that can help meet even the most stringent regulatory requirements. Then from the data integration standpoint, you have something called Amazon Glue, which is again a fully managed extract, transform, and load ETL service that makes it easy for you to prepare and load your data for analytics. From security perspective or data protection perspective, there's a service called Amazon Macie, which uses machine learning to automatically discover, classify, and protect sensitive data in AWS. As of today, Amazon Macie is available to protect data stored in Amazon S3 with support for additional AWS data stores coming later this year. Now, coming to the databases, we see there are relational database services which are provided by AWS, and you can see RDS, which is relational database service. Again, this is a web service that makes it easier to set up, operate, and scale a relational database in the cloud. You can use the database products you are already familiar with, like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, or Microsoft SQL Server, and so on, right? And then there's Amazon's Aurora, which is again a fully managed relational database engine that's compatible with MySQL and PostgreSQL. On the non-relational database related services, Amazon provides DynamoDB, which is again a fully managed NoSQL database service that provides fast and predictable performance with seamless scalability. With DynamoDB, you can create database tables that can store and retrieve any amount of data and serve any level of request traffic. It's a key value and document database that delivers a single-digit millisecond performance at any scale. You can also see Elastic Cache offers fully managed service which works as an in-memory data store and cache to support the most demanding application requiring a sub-millisecond response time. To cater the analytical needs, there's again a little stack of services provided by Amazon, starting with you can say Redshift, which is a fully managed petabyte scale data warehouse service, and is designed for analytic workloads and connects to standard SQL-based clients and business intelligence tools as well. Redshift is basically a columnar storage, data compression, and zone maps to reduce the amount of I/O needed to perform queries. It uses a massive parallel processing data warehouse architecture to parallelize and distribute SQL operations to take advantage of all available resources in AWS. Then you have Amazon EMR, which is Elastic MapReduce. Again, this is a web service tool for big data processing and analysis. This offers expandable low configuration service as an easier alternative to running in-house cluster computing. Then we have Amazon Athena, which is an interactive query service that makes it easy to analyze data directly from Amazon's S3 using standard SQL. There is Kinesis data analytics, which can be helpful to create Kinesis data analytics applications that continuously reads and processes streaming data. The service supports ingesting data from Amazon's Kinesis data stream and Amazon's Kinesis data fire hose and streaming other sources. And on top, you can see Amazon's QuickSight, which is a business analytics service you can use to build visualizations, perform ad hoc analysis, and get business insights from your data. It can automatically discover AWS data sources and also works with your proprietary data sources to get answers fast, generate fast interactive visualization on large data sets. In parallel to that, we have Amazon SageMaker, which is again a fully managed service that enables data scientists and developers to quickly and easily build, train, and deploy machine learning models at any scale. In today's session, we shall focus on Athena and QuickSight mostly, and understand how they help us serve our analytical needs. So basically understand how Amazon Athena can be used complementing a couple of AWS services to provide your analytical solution easily. So Amazon Athena is an interactive query service that makes it easy to analyze data directly from Amazon S3 using standard SQL, which I just mentioned in the previous slide. The first point is that Amazon Athena is itself serverless. This means that there is no infrastructure or administration. You don't have to think about whether do you need a small, medium, or large configuration, or the number of compute cores or I/O, anything. You simply just have a question you can express through SQL. You have, let's say, data sets that sit on S3, and you can just immediately start asking questions of your data through SQL. And AWS takes care of important responsibilities such as provisioning and provisioning or infrastructure upgrades. So there is literally zero time to spin up. So whether you ask one question a day or 100 or 1,000, you can simply start exploring your data as it sits on S3. So in a nutshell, I can say Athena's value proposition would be being serverless. It decouples storage from compute and uses warm compute pools across multiple available zones of AWS, and ensures that you pay only for your data scan, so it is cost effective, and it is secure, and uses Amazon's identity access management very thoroughly in that, and it has standard compliant and open storage formats also built on powerful community supported OSS solutions. So the next point is that Athena is actually super easy to use. If you prefer kind of console or SQL environment, if you're more sort of writing your own SQL, you can log into Amazon Web Services Console, write your SQL directly there, and get a result set back. This works equally well for defining the data set also. So creating a table structure over by data on S3, or actually asking questions from SQL perspective directly through the console and start querying it. And then Amazon Athena is also available through JDBC connection also, to highlight how you can sort of move beyond just writing SQL code to actually visualizing it through Amazon QuickSight or any other visualization tool that's available through JDBC connection. And Athena also supports writing ANSI SQL, supports and also supports writing complex joins, nested queries, and window functions for analytics. And then supports multiple different data types, arrays, structures, and supports for partitioning of data by any key, custom keys, which you can define like date, time, year, month, day, or so on. And from pricing perspective, some of the attributes of serverless environment, such that you're not paying for idle time, Athena can be a huge cost benefit as well. But then question arises about how do I actually leverage the fast computing pool in terms of executing my queries. So behind the scenes, whether your query requires one CPU or 10 or 1,000 shouldn't necessarily inhibit the way analysts interact with the data, right? So Amazon Athena has a simple pricing model which essentially looks at the amount of data you scan on S3. So when I say scan, I would say that it is sort of important attribute. So the more I compress my data, the more I partition my data using formats like Parquet, I can dramatically reduce my cost of clearing and interacting with my data sets. So now coming to what is QuickSight. QuickSight is a fully managed service, serverless business intelligence system. And what do we mean by fully managed, right? Well, it's completely hosted in the cloud, meaning there's no infrastructure for you to ever deploy or manage. It's literally plug and play solution where you just sign up for an account and you can start using it. So what are, let's see some highlights of how QuickSight works basically, or what does it specialize in. So again, because it is a hosted solution, QuickSight is pretty much infinitely scalable, meaning you add users to the solution as your workload increases or as users become more and more active. QuickSight automatically scales with you without you really having to do anything, which is very different than a lot of traditional business intelligence solutions where they are either hosted by you or you're hosting them in a third-party cloud, etc., and you're kind of responsible for managing the load on your infrastructure whenever you increase the number of users or users increase the amount of activity that they are engaging within the solution. So as well as the data sets and the amount of data that you are exposing through the solution increase, right? So QuickSight as a complete hosted solution has all that scalability built into it, and it just grows with you as you need it to, without really you having to do anything. And it's wonderful. The next is that it's completely managed by AWS. So meaning there is nothing that you have to do to run QuickSight deployment, whether that's for 10 users or 50,000. There is no management of the QuickSight system you need to do. Basically, you just create your account and then create your content, connect to your data sources, and administrate your users. But when it comes to the infrastructure side of things, there's really nothing for you to manage. It's completely hosted and fully managed solution provided by AWS. Next is QuickSight allows you to only pay for what you use. So there's a very big departure or deviation from the way that BI systems are traditionally licensed. The traditional BI systems which have licensed, where you're asking to prepay for your users either on a one-time license or an ongoing subscription, where you are basically paying for every user on month-to-month basis, regardless of how frequently they use a solution or don't use a solution. So with QuickSight, that's no longer true. So you are really only you only pay for what they use, and we are gonna talk a little bit about that later when we get to the pricing section of the webinar. And lastly, as an AWS solution, QuickSight is deeply integrated with all the different AWS solutions that are relevant for doing or building a full end-to-end cloud BI solution. So whether it's data sources like Redshift or S3 or RDS, as well as other administrative tools like identity access management and CloudTrail for auditing and monitoring. QuickSight is deeply integrated with all the relevant AWS services so that you can really build a native AWS and NBI solution in the cloud. So we have seen the analytical stack, and so when we look at where QuickSight fits into the complete AWS analytical stack, you can see is a clear picture of a wide variety of solutions that you can string together depending on whatever use case you're trying to solve, to provide an end-to-end business intelligence solution that takes your data from its collection from wherever it is coming from, all different sources, being able to store that in variety of ways, transform it, process it, and then make it available for your consumption by your end users, right? So what QuickSight really allows now is for you to take the data throughout its entire life cycle to the endpoint, where you are putting it into the hands of end users as dashboards or reports to help them derive insights out of that, and do that all with a deeply integrated stack of solutions that are all available through AWS and all available as hosted solutions with really nothing for you to manage. So you can truly construct an end-to-end serverless BI solution in the cloud with these services. As we just talked about QuickSight, we said that it is deeply integrated with many AWS data sources like RDS, S3, Aurora, but it also allows you to connect to third-party databases as well, both whether those databases are hosted inside within AWS on EC2, or if you're running them on your premise. QuickSight allows you to connect to your on-premise data sources in secure way. In addition to that, QuickSight also allows you to connect to third-party applications Salesforce, Jira, ServiceNow, Twitter, and that allow you to connect to those data sources and create data dashboards and reports directly of those without bringing that data into any third party or industrial data warehouse. You just go directly from the source. So this is the list of data sources that QuickSight supports today, and this list is constantly growing as Amazon is adding new ones. So this list will continue to expand both in terms of number of databases and the resources, as well as the third-party applications as well. The most another important thing about QuickSight is that as a hosted application, it really offers you one product for all users. So inside of most of the organizations, there are different types of users for different types of analytics applications, starting with like the power user, data analysts who like to get access to data and do their own self-service BI, where they can create their own charts and tables and kind of dig around and do their own hands-on analysis inside of the data, right? Then you have more classic data publishing models, where you have a BI team or power users and analysts that are creating reports and dashboards and then distributing that out to an audience of users that are just going to interact with that predefined content and maybe do some drilling and some filtering on that. But more or less, it is consuming data and reports that have put together for them. So in a lot of other solution, those different scenarios are split across multiple different applications. So in a traditional environment, you'll see that there will be a desktop application for the serve discovery users, or a different application for creating dashboards or reports, and then a hosting solution or a different methodology for posting those dashboards to be consumed or even distributed through those as distributing those as PDFs or Excels or CSVs or some other formats, right? QuickSight really brings all of these things together into one singular application for you to manage across your company, and you essentially give different users the permission they need to use different features of the applications. So if you're a power user, you give them the ability to go in and create their own analysis and connect to data, build charts, etc. If they're more of just a pure consumer, then you give them the ability to just interact with reports and dashboards and have them created and shared with them. So QuickSight really brings all that together, and one single solution makes it a lot easier to manage and a lot more streamlined across your organization. QuickSight provides ability to create rich and interactive dashboards and reports, which can be published for authorized users to access, as mentioned in the previous slide. Important features like filters, drill downs, and zoom in, etc. not only add flexibility, but also provide a rich cosmetic visualization to your dashboards and reports. Um, Amazon QuickSight comes or is powered by Spice, which is a super fast calculation engine that delivers performance and scale regardless of how many users are active. It is super fast, parallel in-memory calculation engine to quickly perform data calculations and create wonderful graphs on the fly. A QuickSight allows you to create all that and gives your user that rich interactivity basically. The performance is really amazing because of the Spice engine that basically powers every time a user clicks on a filter or does a drill down, etc. Spice engine will return the results for that without ever having to go to your underlying data sources, which provides a really fast end user experience with a very little latency as they interact with the content. And while also saving you a lot of money on the overall infrastructure cost to your underlying data sources, because of all of those users are interacting with the dashboards, and Spice engine is powering all the results instead of that being fed down to your underlying data sources. And lastly, it's accessible to everybody and every device, and allows you to directly refresh the data, so you can create dashboards once put that in people's hand, and instead of giving them new files every day or new report or new emails every day, they can access it through different devices. So going ahead, this is just a sample pipeline of a traditional business intelligence leveraging the serverless characteristics of some important and unique services provided by AWS. We start off with our data sources. This could be transaction systems, either in AWS or on-premise. These transaction systems oftentimes land the data into S3, which is in the raw format, or your raw data, um, which might need transformation and for that you can use Amazon's EMR or other ETL tools. Put this prepare data set back into S3 again, then load it into a data warehouse like Redshift, and then of course visualize it using QuickSight, or use Amazon Athena, um, directly accessing raw data on S3 for specific analytics. So this is super valuable to many customers to be able to kind of follow this pipeline, because this is pretty standard and serves your purpose. Like imagine I have a set of users that want to discover the data in this raw format. This could be sort of like a compliance type question or infrequent question, where they when they need to get access back to the base or raw information. So being able to simply spin up Athena or go to the console and just start querying the data through SQL becomes a super compelling use case for many users. Then the next one is to say, okay, even in the case where I want to explore some of the more prepared data sets, I can use Athena to query that directly, or I can combine it with my other enterprise information um, in a more traditional data warehousing perspective and continue a query through Redshift. But the beauty is that when the QuickSight is that from the visual perspective or from the business intelligence perspective, the consumer doesn't necessarily have to care about where the data is stored. They can visualize all these results that's not into a single set of tools to do exploratory analysis. And it's not necessarily a question of when do I use I use one or the other, but how can these tools together deliver the most value for your use case, such that our analytics team or essential people, they have questions about data, can choose the right tool for the right scenario and not to be constrained by the fact that, hey, we purchased a certain technology stack and therefore all questions have to go through that single stack. And so kind of having flexible analysis of data warehousing through Redshift or exploratory analysis through Athena, and then tying that together in a single visual interface through QuickSight often times becomes a compelling business proposition to close that dark gap in your data and to really provide more value out of all your data and not just curated sets of data. This is another simple pipeline for social media analytics. You can use Kinesis Data Firehose to reliably load streaming data from social media sources, or like Twitter or Facebook, into data stores and analytical tools. Amazon, you can use Amazon machine learning service that allows you to easily build predictive applications, including fraud detection, demand forecast, and click prediction. Amazon machine learning is highly scalable and can generate billions of predictions and serve those predictions in real time at a high throughput. So the output of the machine learning service can be streamed into an S3 and then after leveraging Athena service, we can use QuickSight to visualize your data insights in the form of dashboards and reports beautifully. This is again something similar, an elaborated version of serverless analytics for Twitter. Typical data lake based social media analytics, you can say. Here we are using AWS Lambda also, which lets you run code without provisioning or managing servers. You pay only for the compute time you consume. There is no charge when your code is not running, basically. And Lambda is basically an event-driven serverless computing platform provided by Amazon as part of web services. It is a computing service that runs code in response to events and automatically manages the computing resources required by that code. So it's a best fit when we want to do analytics on something like data streams coming from Twitter or Facebook or something. This also leverages Amazon's Glue, which provides a console and an API operation to set up and manage your extraction, transformation, and load workload. Glue uses Glue data catalog to store your metadata about your data sources, transforms, and targets. The data catalog is a drop-in replacement for your Apache Hive Metastore kind. This is a sample Twitter dashboard where you can do analytics based on sentiments or top hashtags, positive comments or negative comments, mixed, neutral, and so on. It will be wonderful and easy to create such dashboards. Another uh, service, AWS CloudTrail, is a service that enables governance, compliance, operational auditing, and risk auditing of your AWS account. So CloudTrail provides event history of your AWS account activities, including actions taken through your AWS Management Console or AWS SDKs, command line tools, and other AWS services. So you can find out how your load balancer traffic is looking like, and what are your peak API activities, and so on. This will be a wonderful monitoring tool. You can see the same thing depicted in a pipeline where we use Lambda again to basically crawl over your log files, and then use Glue catalog to prepare metadata, and then Glue ETL to send back data to S3 in Parquet formats, compress them, and then again leverage Athena through for QuickSight to query and visualize your reports. So coming to QuickSight Pricing, an enterprise edition for deploying insights at scale across your organization. Amazon offers pay per session pricing, as mentioned earlier also, and they were among the first business analytics services which had this kind of model. With pay per session pricing, you can enable everyone in your organization with interactive data-driven dashboards and pay only when user accesses these dashboards. This makes Amazon QuickSight an even more cost-effective way for you to make personalized business analytics available to everyone, whether you have tens, hundreds, or thousands of users. Pay per session pricing starts at just 30 cents per session, up to maximum of $5 per user per month, and is available in Amazon QuickSight Enterprise Edition in all supported AWS regions. With pay per session pricing, there are no upfront costs, no annual commitments, and no charges for inactive users as well. Other features launched enable are enhanced interactivity in dashboards through parameters with on-screen controls and URL action to link QuickSight dashboards to third-party applications or internal websites. So you can see QuickSight's data management and administration capabilities have also been enhanced with the increased SPICE dataset limits of 25 GB. Hourly refresh for the SPICE data, co-owner permissions for dashboards, option to share dashboards with all users, and an easy one-click account upgrade option from Amazon QuickSight Standard Edition to the Enterprise. So that's it from my side, and please do shoot if you have any questions, and if needed, Peter can coordinate to plan even demos which can be specific to your use case. And also wanted to let you know that Cambridge Technology makes fundings available for our customers to run POCs and other projects. So if you want to evaluate AWS QuickSight and other services of AWS via POC, or want a live demo, then Peter is the right guy to reach out. Over to you, Peter.
Thanks, Shailesh. Appreciate it. I probably should have mentioned, but if you do have a question in the GoToWebinar dashboard, there is a section, a tab for questions, and you go in and type that. Shailesh, can you move to the next slide, please? While maybe people put in a question or two.
Yep.
Again, just reiterating what Shailesh said, we'll make it a webinar copy available to the participants. And again, we do have funding available for POCs. Also, if you'd like to see a demo, we can do that as well. I'll be in touch over the next few days with a little thank you note. And if there are any other questions, please just send them to us, and we'll be happy to answer them and return them to the group or to you specifically. So at this point, I don't see any questions, so I think we're going to say thank you again. We really appreciate you taking time to come and listen to this webinar. Shailesh, thanks for your efforts as well, and hope to see some of you folks the next time. Thanks again for coming. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.